All right, welcome back. This is week 68, the preparation. It was a very good week, very busy week, that's for sure. To start off with, a little nice, pleasant thing that happened was that we finally got the 50 chicks that we ordered for my mini meat chicken operation that I'm starting here. And hopefully it won't always be a mini operation, but start off small, test it out with 50, and we'll see how it goes. Because I can probably sell them once they're grown enough, once they're big enough, for somewhere around $30 per chicken. So that's pretty good. But that was one good thing to start the week off. But besides that, we had a few big events for the week, all in 1 week. We had the cow butchering as well. I've helped with a few butcherings in the past with 2 different sheep, which sheep are fairly easy to skin, easy to gut, easy to process overall. And 1 cow. Cows take a long time. The first time I did it, it was me and another man skinning the cow, gutting it, processing it, and that took some time, to say the least. And I wasn't even there for the entire process. But this past week, our freezer space was starting to get a little empty, and we wanted to butcher another cow, so we did. And this cow was 1 year old. She was not weaned, so she was still taking milk from her mom. She was actually bottle fed her mom's milk just because she was so big she couldn't reach down to the udders anymore. But she was left unweaned so that the meat would taste better. Not only would it taste better, but she was also 415 kilos, so there was a whole lot more meat. But we shot her with a 22 in the forehead, and then, well, the casero did. Then he went up with a knife and severed the carotid artery so that she could bleed out. Which is not the most pleasant way to do it. Definitely not the most pleasant thing to view, but that's how it went. And then from there, we tied her legs to the front loader on the tractor, lifted her up, moved her, dropped her back down on the ground, and started skinning her. Which, for, 4 people? 4 amateurs and 1 pro doing it, just kind of hovering around, helping to start the skinning process, and then just hovering around to make sure nobody screwed up too bad. It definitely took longer than it should have, but that's all right. People are learning. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Plus, what's the rush? There's no rush to do it all that fast. But we got that done. Then we lifted her up again. We lifted the cow up again so that we could gut it. And that part, for those who have a weak stomach, is probably one of the worst parts. But the nice thing about it is that it happens, it's very easy to finish it very fast, because most of what is holding the innards, the stomach, together to the body is a thin layer of membrane. All you have to do is sever that thin layer, and almost everything will fall out. So it doesn't take that much time. But we did that. We were done with the skinning, done with the gutting, everything. Then we lifted her back up and drove the tractor to the barn and left the front loader arms up in the air so that the cow would just hang there overnight to let the meat cool off overnight. So that was the first day. And then the second day, we had more people come over to help. My girlfriend, her brother. And that was the rest of the butchering. that happened from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. 4 hours of starting off by cutting off the legs from the rest of the body, then using a saw to cut where the ribs meet the spine, to cut there on each side. Then you have these huge chunks of meat that are very heavy. And then you start off with smaller cuts there. And we didn't do anything but crazy. We just stuck to basic cuts like ribeye and T-bone. And much of the rest of the meat was just used for ground beef and chorizo, which we eat a lot of. But yeah, that took 4 hours. It was a lot of work for that. It's always a lot of work for a single cow, but the payoff with that is not only is it our own cow, but we learn how to butcher the cow, how to skin the cow. I knew how to do that. I had a vague idea of how to do that from doing it in the past, but I didn't quite remember all the details. But other people were learning quite a lot. I still learned a lot. And now you have 8+ months supply of beef, probably over a year. And the grocery bill is a whole lot lower than it would be otherwise. So there's lots of benefits to doing it that way. Plus, it's just a very interesting experience for everyone. And it gets people to do things together, which is good. So then we also had quite a lot of work with the cows because we were doing artificial inseminations this week. And we just finished them yesterday, at least a good portion of the job yesterday. A lot of it was injecting them with female hormones, which make the cows go crazy. I mean, usually they're a little skittish. They get freaked out if you move too fast or little things like that. And of course, if you were stuffed into a small corral with 50+ other cows, you'd be a little skittish too. But no, these things were charging, they were aggressive, they were kicking and trying to jump out of the corral after injecting them with the female hormones. So we did that, and then the vet came over again so that we could do the actual artificial inseminations. And I calculated that it was about 3 minutes, somewhere around 3 minutes for each insemination for each cow. So with about 60 cows and lots of other work that took lots of other time besides just the actual artificial insemination, it was a very long process, which it always seems to be that way. I did it once before this time last year, and it was an all-day thing. Starting off in the morning, doing it for 2.5 hours, then having lunch, then going back out, and it's about another 2.5 hours. So lots of work, but again, my girlfriend was there and she learned quite a lot. She learned how to inject cows and move them, which it sounds silly, learning how to move cows, but there is a method to it. There really is, and it's a small art form. So that's the majority of stuff for the week, the more interesting stuff. I was also on Collapse Life's podcast, which I'll put in the description as well. It was great talking to them, and I was on there to talk a little bit more about the preparation. So they asked me some hard questions, and hopefully that allowed me to explain it more in depth, give a little bit more detail about the program, but we shall see. So if you want to check it out, like I said, it'll be in the description. Other than that, we started working on the preparation book again. Within the past month, we have had so many people come up to us or email us, whatever, asking us about the program and about the book, asking if it was ever going to come out. So there's been a lot of delays, but we're back to doing it. And it'll be a big goal, big objective to get it done sometime soon. Along with that, I did my usual chess and Spanish for the week. And I think both have been going fairly well. I didn't work out as many days as I would have wanted to, but with a few very early mornings, it was excusable since there was lots of work to be done. So overall, I think it was a very good week. Lots got done. So yeah, anyway, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.